Namaste, Vanakkam, and especially to our Honourable Minister in India. And I know what it's like when you have the bells go in Parliament, you have to take off. So I've been there many times myself. It's an honour for me to be here today to join you celebrating traditional Indian art forms and recognising such eminent artists with awards. And you can all be very proud of your efforts. And all the other artists on here, I congratulate you as a person who can't sing, who can't dance, and has got no, how should I say, artistic bones on me. I'm always admire those who have. Can also acknowledge the traditional owners of our land, the elders past and present, and also for Robbie Beaton, who's a Liberal candidate in the seat of Isaacs, and for those in Australia, we obviously have a federal election coming up in next month, which is very exciting, and Robbie's a key player in that. Can I say thank Gayatri, Director of Gayatri's Tanjore Paintings, and can I say it was so delightful to meet you recently, and I couldn't believe you gave me that beautiful painting of Lord Ganesh, and it's proudly at my home. I feel very honoured to have that. And when we were discussing it again, I couldn't believe how much work can go into a painting. So it was quite incredible. I'd also like to acknowledge the Honourable Meen Ashi Lakim, the India's Minister for State and Culture. And again, it's fantastic with all our friends in India, the world's largest democracy, and we obviously got very close relationships. It was interesting before you're talking about the road funding projects in my electorate, which is important if you live here and you get kind of stuck in traffic in the southeast of Melbourne in Victoria. One of the projects I was always very excited about was called Bunjil Place, and for those who want to have a look at it, it's Bunjil, Bunjil Place in Fountain Gate. And this was a project I got behind, and it's won all the last, I think it was like 3 years ago, all the International Architecture Awards. And one thing I got very much behind this project is because of our multicultural communities, and in particular locally it would be the Indian Sri Lankan communities, a place where you can have your festivals and also to display your artwork. So if you get the opportunity to have a look at that. And I heard your minister talk about a bit of history of art. For those who don't know, in the southeast of Melbourne, at the end of the First World War, there was a soldier, his name was Horatio, and he actually built a kerosene tin house out of like little petrol tins in a small suburb called Tacoma, which is part of the Dandenong Ranges. And that was the location where in the day, in the 1920s, and I think would have been 1930s, Australia's most famous artists, such as Tom Robert, Arthur Boyd, came to paint there. And also through the Dandenong Ranges had a Dutch artist by the name of Eugene von Gerard. And interestingly enough, Arthur Boyd grew up in a place called Harkaway, and they were building a dam or something there, but he actually, as part of that, part of his paintings, he was staying with his grandson, whose name was Martin. And Martin said, if you want to stay here, that's okay. You don't have to pay me anything, but you can just paint all the walls in the house made of concrete. And we actually thought all the paintings were lost, but lo and behold, they actually, before the place was destroyed, was actually saved by the Australian Art Gallery here in Canberra. So something we always must do is respect and protect art, because what you're doing as artists can tell a story in 100 years' time, 1,000 years' time, especially in Indian culture. When it comes to Australia, Australia has 700,000 Australians who identify with Indian ancestry, which is not many when you compare that to India itself. But in Australia, our population is roughly 25 million people. In my home state here in Victoria is 236,000 people of Indian ancestry, so who do amazing job contributing, especially when it comes to business and entrepreneurs, and of course the arts. In actual fact, I was at a dance event on Saturday night with an Indian dance school, and just how much colour those youngsters brought in with their uniforms or their and the dancing. But today it's all about recognising 3 artists, and I just want to congratulate Sosela Jay, Dr. Banarath, and Sri Kathri, the 3 award wins today. I thank you for your outstanding contribution to arts. And one of my staff members here, Karthik, was just telling me before how revered and renowned you are for your artwork, not only in India, but here in Australia too. So I thank all the Indian Australians for their contribution in building our modern nation, and commend the organisers for recognising, encouraging artists and celebrating Indian art forms. I wish you all the best in the future. And thanks very much for having me on.